here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkione, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Cloud9. It is GuMiho. Our Terran representative here of the finals, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Max Pack Slayer himself. We have the Red Protoss from the land of Germany representing Berlin International Gaming, BIG. It is ShoWTimE. Let's go. Oliveira also lost first match to Ryung. Yeah, but that was like, I mean, that was a little bit more expected. Like coming into that, I was favoring Ryung as well. That's only because of the TvT. I was actually more surprised that GuMiho brought Ryung down in the following TvT in a 2-0. I was expecting at least an ace match there. At least an ace match. But for now, we are settling in. We can see ShoWTimE immediately checking for a proxy. Does immediately check the third base. Making sure there's no shenanigans. Speaking of, GuMiho is opening up double gas. Double gas opener out of our Terran player. Once again, going for a faster factory. Now, what I appreciate out of these two facing off so often is that ShoWTimE is becoming more and more accustomed to GuMiho's playstyle. I do appreciate that. Like, GuMiho can be a really unpredictable player. He can be really quirky as well, but yeah, because ShoWTimE is getting more experience with him, should be getting caught off guard a little bit less often. I would hope. But now, we have our gas guys. We have our two gas opener kicking in, going for the factory before the CC. Going for a more tech-heavy opener. And we'll see what we embrace here. We've seen some big committed WTL play earlier today in the semifinals against Jeshi. Could lead into Cyclones, could lead into Reactor Reaper Hellion, into Hellion drop. It's a lot available. Is a lot available here. As the Reaper does dip in, gets eyes on the expansion, rotating around, Stalker's in position. Good movement here out of ShoWTimE, keeps up with the Reaper and does zone it away. Behind this, soon to throw down our tech, we can see GuMiho is going for interesting Reactor Marine production with a WTL follow-up. I think this is going to just be WTL into Cyclone into a drop. We'll see if we make additional WTL. Keep an eye on GuMiho. Yeah, we do have additional WTL on the way. Okay, we're going for a mine drop. WTL are getting in position, and we'll eventually be heading towards that drop. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE going for our tech of choice, going for a Twilight Council opener. Twilight Council into Blink. Here we go. There we go. Blink is on the way. How many gateways are we going to be working with? We have one gateway in the main base. We have one gateway here in the natural. So far a 2-gate Blink opener. Very economic. We'll see if we go just 2-gate Blink into an expansion, or if we go for a 3rd gateway just to be safe. We'll see how greedy or how safe ShoWTimE wants to be. So now we are patrolling. Then we go 3rd gateways on the way. So ShoWTimE will delay his expansion in favor of a 3rd gateway and extra warp-ins. So ShoWTimE playing very safe. Meanwhile, here comes that mine drop. Moving out across the map. Now, ShoWTimE has the tools to defend, but is he going to be in position? It's going to be about the positioning, the control, the execution of the defense. So the pressure is on. What mine drop towards the natural. At the same time, we have a Reaper distracting on the right-hand side. Drop comes in, but ShoWTimE's in position. And the mine drop shouldn't get much done. Ooh, 2 probe kills. More than we thought. Usually we would see 1 probe kill, but we get 2, so not bad. Not bad whatsoever. ShoWTimE going for 2 more gases. Looks like we might go for a bay before the 3rd. We'll see if we want to be a little bit safer here or more greedy. GuMiho is moving out. Yeah, there it is. The bay is on the way. Again, as we did prioritize our gases. Now we see our third base. Drop coming back in, but we do shut this down. Yeah, the Woodermine will not go off. ShoWTimE does defend. Meanwhile, across the map, the Observer does spot everything. And ShoWTimE is in position to slow down the army. We got one Marine. One Marine so far. Delaying the push, bearing in mind that these are vanilla Marines, there's no stim. But we're making our way towards the third base, looking for a cancel. We pick off one Stalker. At the same time, Liberator into the natural, gets 4 probe kills. Tanks will siege up, and can we catch the Immortal? Not quite. Shield battery is done, but the base is under fire. And we're hoping to force a cancel. It looks like we will. It's going to be close. One more volley. Up. Going for the Immortal. And going for the main army instead. Big shots going off for the Stalkers. Third tank has arrived, and GuMiho is snowballing out of control. That's a kill, not a cancel. We let it finish. That's a kill on the base. The Immortal goes down. GG gets called. Just far too much damage, and GuMiho takes game number 1. GG. A little bit too greedy there by ShoWTimE, trying to save that base. Did allow it to finish. Likewise, overextended with the Immortal. Lost the Immortal, lost everything. Everything just very quickly snowballed out of control, and with that, GuMiho takes the lead. No, does take a lead. Again, ShoWTimE was responding well and was slowing down the army, was in position, had the shield battery, but yeah, again, unfortunately, was just not able to slow down the siege, slow down the tanks. And yeah, was caught in between like a rock and a hard place there. Like, do we commit to save it, or do we just give up on the third? And ShoWTimE did not want to give up on the third base. At the same time as well, I should also emphasize that there was a Liberator wreaking havoc. There was a Liberator in the natural, and it rotated into the main. It was killing probes, not just killing workers though, it was distracting Stalkers, right? It was keeping supply of ShoWTimE busy in the natural and the main base. Supply that wasn't on the front lines, which did leave ShoWTimE that much more vulnerable. But meanwhile, shout out to Soundo in the chat. Oh my papi, 44 months. That's a lot of months. Thank you, papi, thank you. Thank you so much for resubscribing for 44 months in a row with Twitch Prime. Thank you. Do appreciate all the support, papi. Ga, papi, ga. Hope you enjoy the content and the casting as always, as we are settling into game number 2. Here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our Red Terran player representing Cloud9, leading the series 1-0. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Berlin International Gaming, BIG. It is ShoWTimE. Let's go. Let us go. As we are calming things down, settling into our game, and settling into our series even, GuMiho with the lead after a very aggressive game number 1. ShoWTimE unfortunately just wasn't able to slow GuMiho down enough, or wasn't able to stop the aggression. Did commit a little bit too hard as well. All just kind of snowballed out of control. But GuMiho once again, double gas opener out of GuMiho, going into a faster factory. This could be into once again another Woodermine drop, or it could be for something different. Could be seeing some faster tanks into Banshee production, Cyclones even. Oceanborn, not the worst map for mech, in case GuMiho did want to mech it up. We could see it here on Oceanborn. Otherwise, we'll see. Keep an eye on GuMiho. See the chat. Gib Jersey! Exclamation mark merch in the chat. One day, Papi. One day. Smurge. One day. As for now, we are going to be settling in to have our factory on the way. Expansion soon to be taken on location, and once again, it's going to be a Twilight Council opener out of ShoWTimE, not a Stargate. No Phoenixes in sight. Just going to be the Twilight Council towards Blink. It'll be a Blink-based opener here out of our Protoss. Reaper dipping in. Oh, doesn't quite commit. Oh my god. It does take an extra shot, so will get away just barely. But no scout in the main base, no eyes on the tech yet. Meanwhile, when it comes to our opener, that is going to be Reactored Reaper Hellion. Okay, a bit of a more aggressive start out of GuMiho. Basically, the way this works, we're going to be building up towards 4 Reapers, maybe even 5 Reapers, alongside Hellions, and the goal here is to get some economic damage done. You know, with our Reaper Hellion, we can try to bypass the main gateway army, even knock it out of position with KDA charges, bust into a mineral line, and roast up some probes. We'll see how hard we commit. There we go, we have a 4th and 5th Reaper on the way. Just building up our army. At the same time, ShoWTimE is walling up. So far, Solid Sim City here out of ShoWTimE is walling up. It's going to make it that much more difficult for this army to get damage done. Not impossible, but difficult. One day equals tomorrow confirmed. Este Colossi in the chat. Oh my god. We actually have a Terran for you. Hope you've been doing well. Hope you've been doing well, Pappy. Hope you've been learning. Hope the learning streams have been good. Hope the smudge has been maybe a little bit less potent nowadays. I hope. Hope you're doing well. As for now, we are going to be diving in again. 5 Reapers going straight for the Stalkers. First Stalker is going to go down, but we trade with the Hellion. Burks down one of the Hellions. Shield battery is done. Boys are being pulled. And GuMiho is just not getting enough damage here. Yeah, with the help of the overcharge, GuMiho is forced back. And ShoWTimE defends. Okay, the shield battery did finish up just in time. Beautiful. And we have a game. We have a back and forth. Oh my god, is that Hyperflight Rotors? Okay. I was not quite expecting to be rushing into Banshee speed. Earlier today, of course, we did feature Bjorn go into Cloak Banshee Tank. Again, Banshee Tank has been very trendy as of late, but this is a little bit different. Working towards Hyperflight Rotors instead, going for Mass Banshee, and this may even be the beginning of mech. May even be. I'm waiting for the second factory at this point. No boy. Yeah, they don't make them quite like GuMiho anymore. Not anymore. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE going for a bit of a counterattack. He did open up 3-gate blink and can threaten the bases. The first tank will siege, but ShoWTimE can dive into the main. And we do blink forward, very little to defend. Oof. KDA charge is going to be going off. Tank does reposition. We do bleed off a depot. Just the depot for now. ShoWTimE reinforcing. We could threaten a dive. Big tank volleys going off. GuMiho did reposition at the same time. Adept into the natural. Distracting the Hellion. Distracting reinforcements. ShoWTimE will back off. Rotating to the low ground. Observer does confirm very little in position. The bunker's empty. Yeah, the bunker is empty. The tank is going to go down. Massive pick off. We get the tank. We get the Raven. And ShoWTimE just picking his opponent apart. GuMiho struggling to hold on, struggling to survive. We invested heavily here into these Banshees and they've yet to pay for themselves. Say that first Banshee does make it across the map, forcing a recall. Second Banshee's on the way. And so far, I mean, we did force some army back at home, but still not enough. Still not good enough as we dive into the main. Tank trying to keep up. Second tank has arrived. How we're going for it. We have to pull the boys. We have to pull in. GuMiho bleeding off so much. Both tanks go down. We will shut down the Stalkers at least. Stalkers will be forced out of the main base, but last we reset the tank count once again. And that means that GuMiho has no pushing power. That means he's stuck at home. Taking a third base, but he's stuck on two bases for now. Is being contained. ShoWTimE across the map, fully saturated on a 3-base economy. Taking gases, gateway explosion, Colossus on the way. ShoWTimE looking solid. ShoWTimE is looking very solid here. Even taking a fourth. Meanwhile, GuMiho is still stuck on 2 bases. Is still stuck on 2 bases here. I mean, we have stim, we have combat shields, we have our upgrades on the way. Sure, true. They're coming eventually. But as it stands, by the time GuMiho moves out, ShoWTimE he should have a booming economy, Colossus, splash damage, massive gateway army as well. There's a lot of pressure, a lot of onus on these 3 Banshees. Like, there's potential, right? Like, we could get some damage done. Banshees, they hit the 3rd. They get 3-4 probes. Not bad. Oof. But we have detection. We shut down the Banshees. We get 1. And there's 2 left. 2 Banshees remaining. Rotating over. Catching some probes. That's all that GuMiho could hope for. I mean, 6 probes is not bad for 1 Banshee. Not bad. Get 6 probe kills, and we have not stopped Banshee production. We're back up to 4. My god. 4 Banshees for GuMiho. Now working towards Bio, not Mech. I should have pointed that out with the arrival of Stim. That we are playing Bio Tank, and we're getting up to 3-base set, 2 or 3-base setup. ShoWTimE is on 4, soon to even be taking a 5th. And at this point, we can just take a 5th base. We have +2 on the way. Temple Archives, 2nd Robo. Archon production and Immortals. And there's no rush. The reality is there's no rush for ShoWTimE. There's no need to move out too early and try to break the 3rd. That's what GuMiho wants. Really, the win condition for ShoWTimE should just be to take a 5th base, which he's about to, and just deny the 4th. That's all we need to do. Just deny the 4th base over and over again. Just make sure the GuMiho is contained and stuck on 3 bases. And just keep on teching up. GuMiho trying to break out. Goes to the pylon. Looking for a cancel. It looks like we might be able to pull it off. Base is getting low. Up. There we go. We do force a cancel. Not bad. Base is denied. Banshees get the hell out of there. Let's go. Do get out of there. That is some nice damage here out of GuMiho, but we still need more. The reality is we still need more damage. Either just straight up probe kills, another denial, another cancel. As ShoWTimE is maxed. At this point, he's maxed out and he's pushing up the ramp now. This won't be an efficient trade for ShoWTimE. We're pushing into a wall of tanks. Oh my god. Calm down, ShoWTimE. Pushing into 6 tanks. This is not where we want to go. We mentioned before, we don't have to push in. Just deny the 4th. Just keep eyes on the 4th base. Deny it. Wait for GuMiho to move out. Speaking of, does move out with the Banshees once again. Not much room to defend. Remember, because ShoWTimE is max, there's no warp ins. Oh. Yeah, we have limited warp ins available. Going for the main, going for +3. And +3 is going to be denied. Army trying to keep up with the Banshees. They get away. They barely do get away. Oh my god, I spoke too soon. 1 Banshee does fall, but hey, we deny +3. That's worth it. Oh, meanwhile, do you see what I see? I see a Stargate. Stargate is on the way. We're getting ready for SkyToss. Again, ShoWTimE with his booming economy, with his maxed out army. We should be working towards SkyToss. Meanwhile, the entire army was forced back home, which means GuMiho now expands. ShoWTimE needs to be in position to deny this 4th base. Now GuMiho is recovering. Like, unironically, GuMiho is stabilizing. He's broken out. He's taking a 4th base. GuMiho also almost maxed out himself. Now, the Sky Toss is going to be a difficult thing for GuMiho to deal with, but again, GuMiho is stabilizing. Like, we're getting there. There's a denied entry to the natural. Army rotating over. EMP does connect. And remember, ShoWTimE cannot be baited into this fight. Ideally, we don't want to get baited into all these tanks. Prism is shut down. Denied entry. Storm grazing the army of GuMiho. Upon seeing this army, GuMiho is already investing into Vikings, but we do need a third Stargate. Sorry, Starport. There we go. Second Starport is done. Will help with the Vikings. Against a SkyToss composition, you do want to buy a Viking as much as you can get. Ideally, we would want to ease up on the tank count. It's solid now, but again, we are taking to the skies, and the tanks don't really help out too much there. So GuMiho is going to want to refine his army. Meanwhile, we shut down the Zealots at the same time. Ooh, ShoWTimE trying to push in. GuMiho is keeping up. I believe GuMiho has yet to scan the main, so he still doesn't see that carriers are amassing. This is going to be the trump card for ShoWTimE. He's sneaking into those carriers. Now, thankfully, like on the plus side for GuMiho, like he does have a decent anti-air army. I mean, I say that we have a lot of Marauders. that can be a problem if we're a little bit too Marauder heavy. I mean, there's a place for them right now just because of the ground army, but as time progresses, that's what we have to kind of maneuver out of this a little bit. But that's going to be once GuMiho realizes what's going on. And to be fair, that's also going to come down to how heavily ShoWTimE relies upon his carrier production. And now he's got 3, soon to be 5 carriers. Not a bad count. Not a bad count. We scan the main army. There we go, Banshees into the main. And we do get eyes on everything in the main base. We get eyes on the Stargates, the Fleet Beacon, and the carrier. So GuMiho now aware. +1 ship weapons already halfway done. Liberator range on the way. I would love to see a third starport. We still are only working with 2 starports from the side of GuMiho. A third would be ideal, especially when it comes to rebuilding and remaxing Vikings. If we do trade. Now additional CCs on the way. Main army is spotted. ShoWTimE pushing up the ramp. GuMiho caught out of position. Nice EMPs though. Solid EMPs on the army. Cloak is activated. There are 4 High Templar in the Prism. Storms are lying in wait. ShoWTimE rotating over. Takes down the orbital. Cloak is running out. So far we are holding on. I'm still a little bit concerned we have too many Marauders. Massive storm of the Marauders. Oh my god! The storm was insane. But we want to lose the Marauders, so it's okay. Meanwhile, the bases are going ham. No detection. Okay, we have the Observer. Now the Observer, again making more Vikings, more Ghosts. Turrets are on the way, +2 ship weapons. So the army just forcing back the fire. Slow zone as well. And when they siege upon the planetary, massive storm here on everything. Oh my god, we just stand in the storms. The Vikings in the medevac took the brunt of it. Carriers are looking a bit exposed, and we do bring down 1 carrier. And we're going for the second. The mass Viking paying off. Yeah, carriers are falling, but at the cost of a base. A base at 20 SEVs. Now the carrier goes down. We're down to 1. Down to 1, down to 0. 0 carriers left. Solid pickoffs here out of GuMiho. Now we have to be careful. The scary thing in this position here is that if you reset the Skytoss army, we could just rebuild with ground toss, right? We could just go for a big warband of Zealots and Stalkers and Archons and just go for another remax and push. So GuMiho has to be very careful with how he does construct his army. How many Vikings? For example, we have 13 Vikings. For what? For one carrier. Just the one. So we have to be careful. We do need to fixate on that ground army. ShoWTimE rotating over. Does rotate, still more Vikings on the way. Again, we've seen that before, where if you over make something like Vikings, or in TvP it'd be Corruptors, if you do over make, you'd be in trouble. You can see against ShoWTimE Remax with Mass Stalker. We have 13, but soon to be 16 Vikings. Oh boy. Again, thankfully, we still have some bio army on the ground, some tanks. We're okay. I would love to see maybe like some Viking harass, like some Viking drops or something with some of this army. As ShoWTimE is remaxed. Storm drop towards the left-hand side. Main army pushing in. Quite committing. Nice EMPs. You see the high tempo of gathering energy. I mean, on the one hand, you know, GuMiho, he's ready for the carrier. That one carrier to waddle in. CC under fire. Big volleys going up. Zoning GuMiho back. And meanwhile, ShoWTimE with that map control taking another expansion. Getting a 6th base. Sorry, a 7th base even. 7th, there he goes off, no connection. Tempests are on the way, that I like more. On Tempest, they can do so much better here in this kind of siege position. They can trade so efficiently. Tempest on the way instead. I mean, thankfully for GuMiho, we have 16 Vikings. Like, we're ready for the Tempest. Thankfully, we are going to be ready for it. ShoWTimE does rotate around. GuMiho is remaxed. There was a window. There was a solid couple minute period there where ShoWTimE was maxed out and GuMiho was recovering, and that window is closed. GuMiho has been able to remax back up to 200 supply. ShoWTimE not quite there, or I mean is there, but has been stuck there for quite some time and wasn't able to achieve much with it. Does dive in, but we punish the blink. That was a questionable blink there out of ShoWTimE. Nova's going to be going off. Ooh, nice connection. I was going to say that was 8 Stalkers going down, but the Nova towards the end made it worth it. It's a bit of a better trade there for ShoWTimE. GuMiho has to back off. At the same time, I should say that ShoWTimE, we have to be careful with our Blink Stalkers. Don't want to overcommit. As ShoWTimE takes another expansion. Jesus, these bases have been left uncontested. Just so many free bases here for ShoWTimE. Meanwhile, I believe we've been keeping the Tempest in the back line. Yeah, we're just banking up the Tempest back at home. Just banking up those Tempests. Rotor's pushing forward. There it goes off. The ghosts are trying to be cheeky. They are caught out. Meanwhile, we do see GuMiho going right down mid with all his tanks. Uh-oh. ShoWTimE's out of position. ShoWTimE, he misses the army. And we're going for a base trade. GuMiho just sending it right down mid, right through the center. Third base is going to go down. Now, ShoWTimE can recall, but we're going full base trade mode. And the Vikings, they're coming in. They can land. Let's go. The Vikings do land. We hit the natural. Where are the Tempests, by the way? They're across the map. Okay. Tempests are moving out, top right inside. Main army towards the natural. Slowly pushing forward, but GuMiho is already camping the main. He's camping the production. And the main base of GuMiho is still untouched. As ShoWTimE taking a little bit too long. Trying to break through. Tempest coming in. Reinforcements killing the Stalkers. Yeah, this Gateway army that much more fragile. ShoWTimE bleeding out too much. And GuMiho is turning back. Oh my god, how many High Templar did we have? That's why ShoWTimE's taking longer, by the way. He had so much supply tied up in Tempest and High Templar. Which is why it's taking so much longer to break through these buildings. He has pieced it all together. Again, we have Disruptor, Storm, Tempest here. My god. That's a lot of splash damage. That's a lot of storms. And a lot of Disruptors. That's how many? That's 15 High Templar. 15. We're gonna have one storm for each marine. 15 High Templar and 20 marines. That's crazy. That's a lot of storm. Meanwhile, we did not turn around. We've been hunting down bases. So the bases on the right hand side has been shut down. We're pushing towards the bottom left. Has GuMiho scouted the northern bases that we have? We are aware of the base, aware of the nexus. GuMiho bleeding off a couple of marauders here and there. Medivacs as well. Army does turn back around. GuMiho has to be careful. It's one of those things where in a head-to-head fight, I think I want to favor... it's hard to say. Like, storms have so much potential, right? Like, there's just so many storms. It's hard to say that, like, we're not going to get some juicy connections with them. 15 High Templar. The Tempest can be zoned away by the Vikings. That's true. Oh my goodness. We do have some flanking storms. And GuMiho has no economy. No mining, no economy. What you see is what you get. Both armies are... Oh my god! The storms. As both armies are supply blocked. And that's what we have to do. Just throw down some storms. Just keep just hammering away at the storms. Over and over again. As ShoWTimE still has mining. Still has mining going on. Tanks. Ooh. Catch High Templar. We're leapfrogging forward. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE going back to the base trade. I mean, this is all we have left. The natural and the main is all we have left here for the Terran. So ShoWTimE can just go for the elimination. He can just go for the kill. Nice EMP. EMP does go to the High Templar. They're useless. They do nothing. Yeah, we can chase them down. The Vikings, they're going for the land. We catch the High Templar. Very nice catch here out of GuMiho. But at the same time, we're losing our buildings. Again, these are the last buildings here of GuMiho. GuMiho has he has 5 SCVs. But, alas, no minerals. No minerals. We're floating away. We can save the buildings. He can float. He remembers. He can lift. Bases are going down, but this Tempest is the problem. We have anti-air. We can hunt down the final building. We can hunt it down. And ShoWTimE still has mining. So as a wall, it might be supply block, but hey, we have cannons, we have shield batteries. Raxes are being chased down. At the same time, GuMiho does rotate. Again, there's just still buildings all over the place, though. And can he take a fight? It's going to come down to the spellcasters. We're down to 6 High Templar from 15. Wait, did I say 6? Sorry, 13. I don't know where I got 6 from. Oh my god, the storms! Oh, ShoWTimE just warped in. Okay. ShoWTimE, he just warped in. Yeah, he has production, he has mining. The buildings have floated back though. They've reached the main army. Good positioning with the tanks. We have the high ground. We have the high ground laying siege upon the base. And we have a High Templar here towards the north. High Templar towards the left-hand side as well. It is still 6 High Templar. Looks like the other High Templar just morphed into Archons. There is the Observer parked over the army. ShoWTimE does rotate. Storm is baited out. ShoWTimE coming in from behind. Oh, and GuMiho doesn't see this. He doesn't see. He doesn't know. Yeah, we do catch him out. First tank goes down. We're going for the dive. GuMiho does reposition. Ooh, nice feedback. Nice feedback on one of the ghosts. Ooh, the buildings are under threat. We have to save the Raxes. The Raxes! We can't lose them! We can't lose them, Pop. They're under fire. We have to be so careful. Ooh, once again, another feedback. We do still have some buildings who have the orbital at least. About to land. We somehow saved it. Nexus does fall. And we did snipe the Observer. We could mule, I guess. Nervous going off. More than anything, we're going to be using this for scans. Do need to scan the army. Temperature's going off. 19 people are collapsing in. And we do pull the trigger. Yeah, and ShoWTimE is going to chase this down. Massive storms going off, and it looks like ShoWTimE should be able to swallow this up. GG gets called, and ShoWTimE will tap the series 1-1. Whew. GG, a very, very tense game. Very intense game, Poppy. GG, well played. ShoWTimE does swallow the army up despite the chaotic base trade. ShoWTimE still had mining, so he could still reinforce, he could still warp in. ShoWTimE just had so many bases, had so much map control, and that, of course, did pay off in the end in the base trade. And with that, GG. GG, well played. GuMiho had some solid moments. I was impressed. I was impressed by the comeback that GuMiho was pulling off despite having such a rough start. But alas, in the end, ShoWTimE did manage to pull it off, to come out ahead in the base trade. The base trade that GuMiho initiated, if you remember. GuMiho did initiate. Oh. And ShoWTimE barely came out on top. And with that, we're tied up. And this is still a best of 5. Still plenty of games ahead of us. Plenty more games to come. GuMiho would be like, do you even lift, bro? Do you even lift? True. Here we go. Here we go. As we are settling in. And we have our next map. We're going to be loading into Site Delta for game number 3. Here we go. And with our next game, we're going to be determining who takes the lead in the series, who will take that 2-1 lead and gain momentum. Will it be ShoWTimE or GuMiho? We're here to find out. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Cloud9, who are being forced into a tied-up series after that wild Game 2. Can we bounce back? It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the German Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Berlin International Gaming, BIG. It is ShoWTimE. Here we go. Here we go. So far, every game GuMiho has opened up with these double gas openers, has been a little bit more aggressive. ShoWTimE has been adjusting to his opponent, but for the most part, we've seen nothing but Blink Stalkers. Side Delta would be a good map to embrace something like a Stargate opener into Phoenixes. We've yet to see that so far in the series, but I'm sure ShoWTimE would be willing to embrace that if given the opportunity. We'll see. We'll see if we open up Stargate or Twilight Council once again. Now we are calming things down. I was AFK, and what exactly did I come back to? Oh, nonsense, Babby, nonsense. Ah. As GuMiho is going for a more economic opener for the first time this series, it is going to be a single gas opener. It's going to be a Rax into expansion. Not just that, it was a Rax into reactor expand, so GuMiho being a little bit greedier. What I mean by that, no SCV scouts and no initial Reaper scout either. So GuMiho is going to hold off on scouting here, just focusing on his own build, focusing on his economy. And we could even try to embrace a third CC behind this as well. Show us what you got. Okay, factory follow-up. As we did take our earlier gas, it's going to be Rax expand into factory. Of course, we did preserve our gas because we didn't make any Reapers. And ShoWTimE is going for a Stargate opener. Okay, we're mixing things up for both players. GuMiho opening up economically for the first time. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE opening up Stargate for the first time. Again, it makes sense. The reason why both of our players are being more greedy here is because we're loading into Side Delta. Side Delta is a much larger map of the map pool, has a longer rush distance, likewise has a very defendable natural base as well. So this is the map where we more commonly see more greedy builds. I say greedy just because Phoenixes can sometimes leave you vulnerable. Phoenix openers, they can leave you vulnerable to earlier game aggression. But if we assume that there isn't going to be any early game aggression, then we can just embrace Phoenixes, get map control, and head towards Phoenix Colossus. Can head in that direction. Meanwhile, GuMiho opening up, interesting, with a Widowmine. Is going for a second Widowmine as well, so we're working with a Widowmine drop. Meanwhile, interesting. I called Phoenix Colossus, but that is not a Robo, that is a Twilight Council. So this could be Phoenix into charge. I'm assuming charge because we usually don't go Phoenix into Blink Stalkers, just because they both have the same role. Like Phoenixes, they give you map control and they shut down drops, so do Stalkers. I say that, but we only made one Phoenix. Interesting. Interesting here out of ShoWTimE. Widowmine getting in position. ShoWTimE backs off. And now we see why it's Blink. No Phoenixes. We only made the one. So a bit of mind games. A little bit of mind games here out of ShoWTimE. We open Stargate, we open Phoenix, but we only make the one. We reveal it to our opponents, we reveal it to GuMiho, and now we're going for like a kind of a tech switch here into Blink Stalkers. So bold move here out of ShoWTimE. Now the downside, oh my god, is GuMiho's getting position. Oh! And looking to catch that Phoenix, doesn't quite pull it off. Now the downside is that, what does this mean? This means that right now, no Phoenixes, we only have one, and no Blink Stalkers. ShoWTimE's actually quite vulnerable. Oh my god. ShoWTimE is quite vulnerable, and GuMiho is rolling on up. Yeah, no Blink for these Stalkers. They have a hard time kiting here. We do struggle against the army. We zone them away. We're headed for the natural. Oh, ShoWTimE is out of position. Shuts down the Metamac. Forced to recall. Does recall in time. Quick moves here out of ShoWTimE, but the Widowmines will zone away the army, and we are going for the third. We're looking for a cancel, and we should be able to pull it off. Like how do we push in? We can't. Without Blink, there's no saving the space. Probes are coming in. Oh, we do bait out one mine shot and a second, and there's one Widowmine shot left. We'll connect with the field. Oh god. The retargeting. We find it with the Widowmines. By the time we do, by the time Blink finishes, the base falls. That's a kill on the Nexus. 400 minerals down the drain. This is already worth it for GuMiho. Again, just punishing the build of ShoWTimE. GuMiho pulling back, getting into his own third TC, getting ahead in the economy. But now it's on GuMiho to survive. Now ShoWTimE is in the driver's seat. Or I should say ShoWTimE is the aggressor. GuMiho needs to defend. For now, we have a tank in the main, we have a tank in the natural, we have the bunker finishing up. So far, so good. Bunker not quite done. SV goes down. Do pick off the worker. Behind this, working towards a double expel. Oh my god! You don't often see this, but I mean, we are in a dire position. So we do need a strong reaction here. As ShoWTimE is going for his third and his fourth at the same time. Double expanding. Again, ShoWTimE has some catching up to do. So may as well. Behind this, staying on a low gas count so we can afford these bases and afford the Nexus. So staying on 3 gases and going towards charge. Okay, it's going to be a charge heavy composition. Very mineral heavy. Scan reveals additional gateways. Doesn't see much else than that. Doesn't see too much. GuMiho is still building up. Soon to expand. Soon to take a third. Stalker still being active. And if we're embracing a very heavy zealot style, ideally ShoWTimE does want to fight out on the map. Out on the map here, ideally going for surrounds, engaging the army, catching it unsieged. See if ShoWTimE is ready for this. As GuMiho moves out, but just to expand, just take the third. Their base is being taken. ShoWTimE saturating his own. And I'm loving the spread here. ShoWTimE, we have pylons everywhere. All the vision we could ask for. Again, ShoWTimE does want GuMiho to move out, but hopefully ShoWTimE doesn't overextend. Pushing into 4 tanks like this, 5 tanks like this, it's not going to work out well here. I say that the tank's on siege! And this is the moment that ShoWTimE was looking for. He dives into the tanks. They are caught out. Popping up there from GuMiho, but the boys are being pulled, and ShoWTimE is snowballing out of control. He collapses on the army, and GuMiho was not ready for this. The tanks fall, the Marines, the Marauders, everything is going to go down. GG gets called, and ShoWTimE takes a 2-1 lead. GG. Oh my god. Again, I mentioned before that when you go for a very heavy zealot style like this, you want to fight out on the map. You want to fight out in the open. You want the Terran player to push into you like that. And unfortunately, GuMiho didn't realize what was waiting for him. He unsieged at the wrong moment, and we just collapsed on forward. We collapsed on the Terran. And there was nothing that GuMiho could do. Just an unfortunate move out, and again, just didn't really realize what exactly ShoWTimE was working with. We mentioned before that the scan into the main didn't really see much. It saw like 2 extra gateways and a restructuring Twilight Council. That's not enough of a tell. I don't even think we saw the Twilight Council. So a bit of a misread there out of GuMiho, and ShoWTimE now 1 game away from taking the entire series and becoming our champion. Getting his revenge. Can he pull it off? We have our map. Oh, a very interesting map. Going to be loading in to Ghost River. Okay. Now when it comes to like these kind of like wild openers and these like twists and turns and going for like Stargated to Blink Stalker and stuff like that, we shouldn't be seeing that here. We should be seeing a Blink-based opener instead. Stargate play feels so risky on a map like Ghost River just because how small it is. Likewise, GuMiho can be hyper-aggressive here. Even more so than we've seen already. Here we go. See chat. Zergish, we call it Swarm Toss, Bobby. Swarm Toss. As here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River, we have our blue Terran player, our South Korean Terran down in this series, looking to bounce back. Representing Cloud9, it is GuMiho. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Berlin International Gaming, BIG. It is ShoWTimE. 1 game away from becoming our champion. But yeah, when you go for like mass zealot like that, it was Haas. It was Haas that first popularized that. A couple of years ago. I say a couple of years ago. Jesus, it was like what? 2019, 2018. It was. We're getting old. But Haas was the first to go for this kind of like mass expansion, mass zealot style, and it caught on for a while. Many years ago at this point, many years ago. Can't believe it's been so long. But we'll see. We'll see how things do change here, how our players adjust. For now, we do have a single gas. GuMiho opening up, looking to go for a Rax expand. This I was not expecting. Okay. Not gonna lie, I was like, yo, is GuMiho going to one base all in? But we see the exact opposite. GuMiho going for an economic build, rushing into a CC. Now, the CC is on the high ground, and I believe ShoWTimE did not scout. Yeah, ShoWTimE's in the dark, so he's not fully aware of what's going on. I guess he did see the lack of second gas. I guess that is a tell, to be fair. So ShoWTimE is more or less aware of what's happening. And should be feeling pretty safe back at home. As GuMiho just going for the Rax into CC, into Factory. But we'll take a little bit longer to hit the field and to be active. Okay. So we're going to be calming things down. Then we go Twilight Council opener at a ShoWTimE. As we mentioned before, it's so risky to open up Stargate on this map. So Twilight Council is the go-to. Should be for Blink. And I imagine at least 3-gate Blink. We haven't seen 4-gate Blink the entire day today. Like, even in the Max Packs games, like, no 4-gate Blink whatsoever. We could see that here. It's not impossible to pull off, but I don't really know if that's kind of ShoWTimE's style. Right? I don't know if that's his MO to embrace something like 4-gate Blink. But we'll keep an eye on his gateway count. We will keep an eye on him. For now, 2 gateways. We have a gateway at the natural, gateway in the main, 2-gate Blink. Meanwhile, that is a fast tank. Uh oh. I've been focusing a lot here on ShoWTimE. I mean, GuMiho did open up economically initially, but we are rushing into tank production here. I'm curious if this is just to work towards a later timing, but no, here comes the medevac. We're going for a tank drop. We're moving up with the tank drop, and ShoWTimE is going for additional gateways. So it is going to be a 3-gate setup here out of ShoWTimE. Very safe play from our German Protoss player. Very safe. We'll have some extra warp-ins. And this does tell us that he has the tools to defend, but it comes down to the execution. Can he keep up with the tank drop? And here it comes. But not quite how I expected it to be. I assumed that we'd be moving up, but no, it's going to be a fake out. Wait, no, we're coming back. Did we forget the tank? What just happened? What? I'm a little bit confused. Okay, we come back. And okay, we're waiting for the second tank. Now we move. There we go. Mate, the look on my face, I was puzzled. we're good. We're good. So we're moving out with our 2 tanks. We have our bio army as well. I was distraught, Pop. Even pulling some extra boys as well. Now the adept shade did spot the main army. ShoWTimE is aware. Has a shield battery. Has the overcharge. But the tanks have arrived. And they're getting within range. Overcharge is popped. We have an extra warp in. Again, that's a lot of stalkers. We dive in. Oh, bold move. And we punish the dive. Oh my god, so many stalkers going to be going down. We save the tank. No shot. The tank refuses to go down. GG gets called. And GuMiho ties up the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. Oh my god. The tank somehow survived. Unfortunately, we just fumbled the ball a little bit there from ShoWTimE. We missed a couple of shots. The tank survived it somehow, some way, doing its best Immortal impression. And with that, GuMiho did take the fight, did snowball out of control. We're going to Game 5. We're going all the way to Game 5. Let's go. Let us go. Last 2 games decided by tanks. Yep, pretty much. I mean, they were very different games, but true. The previous game, of course, before this one was GuMiho getting caught unsieged. This one a little bit different here with ShoWTimE just unfortunately being unable to shut down the tanks in time, unable to break through them. Maybe wasn't expecting for there to be 2 tanks maybe not expecting there to be 2 tanks instead of 1. Maybe not expecting it to be as committed. But that was a very, very quick game, very intense fight there. It all ended very quickly. All escalated out of control, and now it all comes down to this, the final game of the series. Oh boy, we're loading into Crimson Court. Let's go. Let us go. Crimson Court is going to be an interesting one. Has its own unique features as well when it comes to its third base, but here we go. It all ends here. The KungFu Cup here tonight has been wild. We've had so many upsets, so many insane results, and I don't think many people assumed that this would be the finals. Looking at the initial lineups, to have this Terran and this Protoss, well, we are here. We've made it. Not just the finals, but to the ace match. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Cloud9. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent getting proxied. Let's go. We have his opponent. We have the German Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Berlin International Gaming. BIG. It is ShoWTimE. Here we go. Hello, Mr. Rax. Now, this doesn't look like a committed proxy. This looks like just a singular proxy Rax into Reaper production. We could have been a little bit fancy and thrown it down closer and tried to float into the main. The main base here on Crimson Court is a little bit larger, but I don't think we're going for the floats. I think we're just going for it initially Reapers for GuMiho to get some economic damage and to transition back at home. I imagine that to be the case. Meanwhile, we do have our probe scattered across the map. ShoWTimE will confirm that the Rax is missing. The Rax is nowhere to be found. Now, in this matchup, it is not uncommon to hide the Rax further back in the main, or here at the natural, or at the third base location. So ShoWTimE is going to be on the hunt. Reaper's on the way. Ooh, ShoWTimE going for a gate cyber expand. I mean, standard open out of ShoWTimE. Moving out with that probe. Does turn back around, and the first Reaper should be dipping in, and it's going to be all about how much damage we can get done. Can we pick off a probe, even 2, even 3 workers? What can we achieve? As the Reaper does get into the mineral line, boys are being pulled, probes under fire. We get one probe so far. And can we get a second? We can. Yeah, 2 probe kills. Can we get a third worker as well? Already a good amount of damage here is being dealt. Ooh. 2 probe kills, we deny some mining time, and ShoWTimE will defend. We have another Reaper on the way, but at this point we should have a handle on the situation. The Reaper shouldn't get much done as we zone it away. And we expand. We're expanding back at home, we're getting into a longer game, but so far so good for GuMiho. Gets 2 probes, contains his opponent. Twilight Council's now on the way. It's going to be a blink-based opener out of ShoWTimE. Is going to be Blink. And GuMiho back at home is settling into his own 1-1-1 setup. We're floating back, we have our factory, we have our starport. Now, fun fact, we have yet to embrace mech. There's been no mech so far here out of GuMiho in this series. Is this the map that we embrace it on? The answer is no. I was like, maybe. Now, we have a second and third Rax. Let's go. Getting to our 3-1-1 setup. Solid production here on our 2 bases. Cyclone gets across the map, gets a probe. Not bad. Let's get a probe kill. GuMiho going for an interesting follow-up, going for a Widowmine drop. 2 Widowmines already set up, and we're going for a bit of a delayed drop here from GuMiho after the more chaotic start. go. We are moving out. Back at home, ShoWTimE embracing just a safer opener here. 3-gate blink once again out of ShoWTimE. I mean, went for 3-gate blink in the previous game. Didn't help out too much there, but yeah, we should be okay here. Should be okay. Mind drop does boost in, going for the mineral lines. Blink not yet done. Stalker's having a hard time keeping up with the lines. They will burrow, but it looks like we do pull away in time. Up, up. Oh my, the retargeting. One probe goes down. Likewise, Widowmine into the main, but ShoWTimE should be able to react in time. Yeah, he does pull away. Up, up. Oh my god. Getting 2 probe kills, and we should clean this up. Widowmines will attempt to waddle away, but merely attempt. As if both Widowmines fall. Madavac meeting up with the Cyclone. Forced to drop back in. And ShoWTimE does take the linear third base. We mentioned about how one of the big features of this map is the third base location. You can mine through these minerals, take the third, and this third is that much more secure. You have to knock down rocks or mine through minerals to gain access to that base. Technically, GuMiho can threaten this with drop play, but again, only with drops, at least until we can knock down those rocks. And gain access to that third. But now the game is settling down. Just calming down here. Getting into our tanks. Building up our bio. Stim is finishing up. Likewise, ShoWTimE going from Blink into Charge. Charge, lots of Immortal production. Soon to be Archons, I imagine, as well. We're calming things down. Mech versus Protoss in the Ace match. Gotta love Light's optimism. Ah, Bappy. I've seen the light. I've seen the GuMiho. I understand. Unfortunately, not here. Not in this Ace match. We've seen it before, though. Have seen it before. Is it one city? Is it international? Nobody knows. Berlin International. It's beautiful. Oh! Oh my god. As GuMiho does move out. We've got 3 tanks with our army. We're going to be reinforcing with a 4th tank. Stim is finishing up just in time. And can we lay siege upon the natural? Looks like we are distracting the main army. Oh! Pushing in. Drop towards the 3rd. Main army depowers the shield battery. Uh-oh. Shield battery is depowered. We are vulnerable. Tanks are pushing forward. Charge is done. I do appreciate that GuMiho is slowly pushing forward, making sure that he ensures the tanks are safe and sound. Doesn't get caught out. And here we go. We pull the trigger. We collapse on the first tank. Tank does fall. Target firing on the Immortal. Yeah, the Immortal does go down. Looks like GuMiho, he has too much. Stim is done. We push him forward. The final Immortal is going to go down. And we still have a tank. We still have a tank in the back line. Running out of Marines, but we have a 2nd tank. Oh. We're now up to 2 tanks. And can we get within range of the Robo? So far, not. Yeah, we do focus on the first tank. It looks like ShoWTimE has enough. We focus on every single tank. But it costs us the Stalkers. Expensive trade there for ShoWTimE. Yeah, looking at the trades, that was 6 Stalkers, 20 Zealots, 2 Immortals for 5 tanks. I mean, that was a good amount of tanks going down. Regardless, we hold. We hold on, we preserve our economy. The probes are left untouched. Preserve that worker count. GuMiho going for a drop, and it looks like we've held. We have held on. GuMiho backing off, expanding, taking a 3rd base, taking up. Towards Concussive Shell, 1-1. The drop into the main has potential. Does force a recall. And we just get a pylon. If we just go for the pylon, back off. GuMiho is still being active. Still out on the map. ShoWTimE is trying to get in position. The Stalkers at the main, Zealots at the 3rd. Even moving out with his own drop. Okay. Are being active. And a bold move here out of GuMiho, but it makes sense. I mean, we have map control, so we're taking the center base. The Observer does confirm. So ShoWTimE is aware that GuMiho is being greedy, and of course getting a third. As GuMiho moves out, we're diving into the main, and there's not much in position. Zelt's going to be wreaking havoc at the same time we do push in. Storm isn't done. Uh-oh. There is no Storm. We have the overcharge at least. But Zelt's going to melt against the Bio Army. And we still need a couple more seconds. Immortal goes down. High Templar are exposed. Zelt's across the map. They are wreaking havoc, but there are reinforcements on the way. Ooh, and we still need 2 more seconds. We have Storm. Just in time. There we go. The first Storm does zone away. Meanwhile, across the map, we have defended. Yeah, GuMiho still rallying across the map, still so close to breaking ShoWTimE. He's so close, man. Decent mind shot. And there we go. The final Storm gets thrown down. And it is barely enough. GuMiho has to pull back. Does have Liberators to pull back to. And does he just keep pushing? He just doesn't stop. For now, he pulls away, and Liberator's just going to be used to harass. Skirting around the edge. And ShoWTimE holds. ShoWTimE once again, he barely holds on. He has 2 High Templar in the War Prism. Going for the scan. Dropping into the main. Oh, thinking about it. Not quite. GuMiho pulling away. And in the midst of all this, ShoWTimE will take a 4th base. GuMiho does confirm. Decides on the Nexus. Does move out. And the Liberators are not doing much here to harass. Only 1 Liberator left. And again, it's been quite intense. It's been a very intense game here. But ShoWTimE does have potential, finally moving out on the map. Remember, he has 3 High Templar in that prism. Oh! Not a bad connection. I was worried about the targeting on the prism. I was so concerned. We've seen that before. Prism does survive. Decent Storms was zoning the army away. And the boys have to be pulled back. Yeah, 3rd base is exposed. We collapse in. Boys are being pulled with these charges. We're breaking through. We don't have a Storm left, but we do barely break through. Zealots are running out though. And with reinforcements, GuMiho will punish this. Takes down the Zealots and the Immortals. Does cost him 15 SCVs. And GuMiho's economy is crippled down to 40 workers compared to the 60 of ShoWTimE. Across the map, Liberators, they don't get much done. They get 2 probes. That's all they get. GuMiho down in workers, but he has the army. Has the Marines, has the Marauders. We have 3 High Templar in the prism. Rocks are finally being knocked down, and GuMiho is going for the 4th. And we are not ready for this. We do have some time to respond. Yeah, we do rotate over in time. The army is spotted. Decent pre-split, but here come the Storms! Oh my god, massive connections here on the army. GuMiho, the splits were okay, but the Storms were still brutal. Chases back the Stalkers. GuMiho threading the 4th, but it just cannot get on top of it. Cannot get on the Nexus. The army is so heavily padded and bruised. It's so heavily overstimmed even. Another Storm. The Storms, they just keep on coming, but I believe that was the final Storm for ShoWTimE. Yeah, only gateway units. Might just going off the juggling out of ShoWTimE. Let's go. Does juggle back. And is barely struggling to hold on. Alas, GuMiho just rallying as much as he can across the map. He wants to break this 4th base and break ShoWTimE. It's so close. Widowlands will burrow. Might just going off on the Archon. And they go off on the Archon. Stalkers blink back. It looks like with the rally, GuMiho, he has enough. He has enough to break through. Again, 2 Stalkers left. And ShoWTimE has been broken. It was a clutch hold. It was a close defense. Alas, we lose the army. We lose the 4th base. And ShoWTimE has nothing left. You can see here the army now in favor of GuMiho. Again, with the power of the mules. With the power of mules, even with the lower worker counts, we were able to maintain ourselves. Likewise, with the power of 2-2 as well, the upgrades were heavily in favor of GuMiho, the Bio Army, barely breaking through. And still no High Templar, still no Storms. Do have a shield, but I do have an overcharge. The base is under fire, and I mean, ShoWTimE did well for himself, making it all the way to the ace match, making it here to game 5. But GuMiho was so aggressive this game. There were layers to the all-in, to the aggression, but GG, well played. GuMiho will take the series 3-1, becoming this week's KungFu Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to GuMiho for taking the series. It was a wild ride, a wild back and forth. We had base trades, we had proxies, we had all-ins, we had boys being pulled. And we had it all. We didn't see any mech this time, unfortunately. No mech this time from GuMiho, but we got everything else. And I'm at least satiated here by this series. GG, well played. GuMiho will take it, but a big shout out to ShoWTimE as once again he forced an ace match out of GuMiho. Again, we're seeing like a trend here of rivalry ever since the start of the year, ever since Stars War 11. GuMiho and ShoWTimE, they faced off in that offline event. Then they faced off again at HomeStory Cup. It was so interesting to see them face off once again at another offline event at HomeStory Cup, and now here in the finals of KungFu Cup as well. Oh boy. We're making a habit out of this. We are making a habit out of this, and we'll see if the trend continues into other future events, into other online events, even offline events as well. I'm ready for GuMiho versus ShoWTimE at the Esports World Cup. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Are they both in it? I'm gonna double check that. I know ShoWTimE did qualify through the last chance qualifier. Yeah, GuMiho's there as well, so we could see it. We could see. I'm banking on it. Or, once again, GuMiho versus ShoWTimE Esports World Cup. It's gonna happen. It has to happen at this point. It just keeps happening. There's no stopping it. GG, well played. Again, they always make for a fun series, and I look forward to the continuation of their sparking rivalry. I do look forward to it. Otherwise, GG, well played. Congratulations to GuMiho, of course, and hope you all enjoyed yourselves. It was a bit of a longer one tonight. Not gonna lie, especially during the finals, the fatigue was setting in a little bit. It is 1:30 a.m. in the morning, so it's time for bed. I'm out of energy, Poppy. I'm out of energy. Time to embrace the veg. But if you're curious, if you enjoy the content, if you want to see some more cranky ducklings, then we have you covered on Friday with WTL. World Team League is going to be coming back this weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We will not be casting World Team League on Saturday, though. We won't be covering it on Saturday. The reason for that is because something else that's over the weekend is Cheesadelphia. Cheesadelphia is over the weekend as well. Cheesadelphia is over the weekend as well, so we will most likely be a part of that in some way, shape, or form. We'll keep you guys updated when it comes to Cheesadelphia, which is, of course, a big offline event happening in the Americas, so we will keep you informed. Otherwise, we have WTL, we have OC King of the Hill, and Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. Our weekend is stacked. Our weekend is pretty stacked, full of StarCraft, multiple casts over the next couple of days. But we won't have a cast tomorrow. I mean, technically we could. Technically, I could do an ESL Open Cup Europe cast because we missed out on the European Weekly this week. So we could do a replay cast tomorrow, but I feel like I need to rest up for the weekend. I feel like I need to like store and gather up energy for the weekend. So we may have a day off. We don't often do that, but yeah. We're taking it easy. Man. Taking it easy. Otherwise, hope you'll enjoy yourselves, and you can follow us elsewhere, !socials in the chat. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All things Cranky Ducklings. All things quack, if you're interested. You can also follow us on YouTube, !YouTube in the chat as well. You can follow us on, we do upload on a daily basis, so plenty of content on YouTube if you are interested. If you want some of that StarCraft content, some of that StarCraft VOD content, then plenty of VODs, thousands of VODs available on our YouTube channel if you're interested in that sort of thing. If you want to catch up on some matches that have gone by. Otherwise, of course, predictions will be paid out. I got you. And there was a notification earlier. Did I miss it? Oh, Bane Glory. There you go. A shout out to Bane Glory in the chat. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy all the casting. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Just catching up with the chat. ShoWTimE needs to double expand. True. Any lib upgrades? No. There weren't any lib upgrades in that game. Who needs workers when you have automation? True. The mules, man. GG. World Cup final. ShoWTimE GuMiho. True, true. Tienes sueño. Sí, anda mi mid, papi. Anda mi mid. Ramen day. I'm looking forward to it. Unironically, yo, I have some prawns. I have some prawns. I'm sprinkling them into the ramen with egg as well. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. The ramen is amazing. But outside of that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, for supporting the channel. Again, we'll see you guys in a couple of days for some World Team League action. Otherwise, hope you all, have a great week, have a great weekend, and look forward, of course, to the Esports World Cup that is coming up next month. We won't be a part of the broadcast, but I'm sure many others will. You know, Rotterdam, Pig, Zombie Grub, I'm sure they're all going to be jumping on Esports World Cup. It is, of course, the World Finals that is on the horizon here, and we'll do our best at least to bring you as much StarCraft as we can leading up to it, to get a feel for the form of these players and how they look coming into those World Finals, and what kind of shape they're in. I think a big tell of that is not just GuMiho with his finals here tonight, but of course with Home Story Cup as well. ShoWTimE has been popping off. As a reminder, ShoWTimE, he beat MaxPax to make it to the finals. Skillous beat Clem to make it further as well. Like, there was some big results coming in, and players like Skillous and ShoWTimE have really been improving over the past year, and it's really showing. It is now really showing in their play, in their results. So, yeah, look forward to it. Do look forward to it. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in a couple of days for some World Team League. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you guys next time. Hasta luego.